I'm ABC News Radio Entertainment Correspondent David Blaustein, joined by provocative filmmaker Michael Moore, who has a new movie out, Capitalism, a Love Story. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hello, David. Thank you for having me on.
First of all, I want you to know that you're in a safe place. You're in a safe place here.
Good.
You've been roundly criticized. I mean, people have taken issue with your movie, and I don't want to do that so much because it's been done so much over the past week, and you've defended yourself and you've said your piece. Maybe we'll get into that in a minute. I'm really more interested in your filmmaking process and how you decided to take America's economic system on. Why did you choose this topic at this time?
Because I thought it would be an almost impossible movie to make. How was I going to make an entertaining, exciting, funny film about something as boring as economic theory?
What's your process as far as making a film is concerned? Because people don't talk to you about this. They want to take issue with your movie and what you're talking about. And I do want to take issue, but not yet. I just want to know about your process. I know that you write, you produce, you do all the editing yourself. Are you doing this till the very last minute?
Yes, pretty much.
So are you
Pretty
still? I know. I've heard that you like to show your films to audiences, and you kind of like to test it out, and then you like to see what works and play with it. And
I wasn't able to do that with this film because we had a hard deadline of the Venice Film Festival. They had decided to have this film be the very first documentary in the main competition in their 66-year history, and so we had to get it done, and I wasn't going to have time to do the usual testing I like to do just to see how the audiences are responding to it. So the first audiences I've seen it with have been audiences in the theater, and it's been absolutely incredible. The impact it's had on people. People are laughing one minute, crying the next, and walking out of the theater mad as hell.
so I don't have to ask you if you were pleased with the reaction of the audience. But in a way, are you preaching to the choir? Because a lot of people who go to see Michael Moore films are already fans of yours.
Well, yes, some people are. But what differentiates me from other people on the left, generally, I'm one of the few people on the left who has a wide mass mainstream audience. Generally a lefty liberal documentary is seen by other lefty liberals in the Church of the Left, and it plays down at the Film Forum and a nice art house. It's kind of cool. But my films are meant for mainstream America, the big swath of middle America that I come from, and that's why I've been privileged to be one of the few people that have been able to take documentaries and have them shown in shopping malls and in multiplexes. The choir isn't out there. The converted are not in those shopping mall movie screens, and for my films they come because I think the average person, a lot of them feel like I'm there for them, and they can come to my movies and they can vicariously live through me as their stand-in on the screen as I go into the corridors of power and confront them with the truth.
One of the things that I found really interesting, and I didn't know anything about this, talk about dead peasant insurance.
A lot of people don't know this. They're going to find out about it for the first time in my movie. A number of our large Fortune 500 corporations have taken out insurance policies on all their employees, life insurance policies. They've not told the employees that they have these life insurance policies with their names on them. And they've named the company as the beneficiary. So if anything happens to the employee, the company collects all the money. If the employee dies young or before their time, they collect a lot of money. I show in one case in the film where the company collected $5 million out of a man in his 30s who died before his time, got cancer and died. But because they had the life insurance policy on him and they were the beneficiary, the bank that he worked for made $5 million. This has sunk us to new lows. When I discovered this, I just couldn't believe it, that a company has a vested interest in you dying before your time because it can make a profit off your death. It's absolutely insane.
Now, since that happened, I think you also take on Walmart, but I think Walmart has stopped that policy, right?
Yes, Walmart has stopped, and they were being sued, and I think they saw what bad PR was going to come of this, and so they stopped it. But a lot of companies haven't stopped it, and some states have now made it illegal, but not most states. So I hope when this film is released and people see it, that they'll demand that their legislators outlaw what the companies call dead peasants insurance, because that's how they refer to their employees, the peasants.
Now for the fun part. All right, so you contend that capitalism is evil. You spoke to 3 priests. I thought that was interesting because I just saw the Coen Brothers, A Serious Man, and the main character consults 3 rabbis because he's having an issue. That's another story. Very good movie if you get a chance to see it.
Okay, good.
But you consult 3 different priests, and they all say capitalism is evil. But then you go ahead and you say capitalism is evil. I mean, that's not my personal feeling. I didn't walk away from this movie after watching it thinking that capitalism is evil. I thought maybe what I took away from this is capitalism actually could be a good thing if it's done the right way. And recently, some people haven't been doing it the right way.
Right. Maybe at one time it was. I think the genie is so far out of the bottle at this point, because here's what we've ended up with our capitalism. The wealthiest 1% in this country have more financial wealth than the bottom 95% combined. That is a stunning statistic. I don't think that there's a good version of capitalism anymore. I think we need to invent something for the 21st century, a new economic order that is relevant to our times, and quit talking about capitalism and socialism, these ideas one's from the 16th century, one's from the 19th century. Come on, party people. We're in the 21st century here. We can do better than this. Capitalism is still what it is, a legalized system of greed. It legalizes greed. Greed is in all of us. Greed's been around forever. Okay, it's part of our dark nature as humans, like violence is and other things. What we've tried to do over the centuries is to create structures and systems to make us less violent, or to contain us, to make us less greedy. Capitalism doesn't contain the greed. Capitalism encourages the greed. Capitalism says we're going to reward you if you can make as much money as you can. And that right there, just saying that, profit, make as much money as you can, there's something immoral about that. And if you don't think so, then ask yourself, how do you justify an insurance company, a health insurance company, saying to itself, you know what, we've got to make a profit here for the shareholders. That's our fiduciary responsibility. Well, how are we going to make that profit? How are we going to make a bigger profit? Well, we've got to kick people off the rolls who are sick. We've got to make sure we deny care to people who have a pre-existing condition. And then we got to fight every claim that comes in from the doctors and the hospitals. And man, oh man, that is just sick and twisted. We're a civilized society, and we're allowing private companies to get between us and our doctors and the hospitals. But it happens because capitalism says it can happen, because it encourages it to happen, because it's one of the best places to make a big profit.
Some people would get mad. A lot of people would get mad for saying this, but isn't it possible to still employ capitalism, which I don't think is evil, and go back to a better time?
No.
There's no going back as far as
There's no
you're
going
concerned.
back. No, because, well, first of all, how would you ever enact legislation to make the rich pay 70 to 90% of their income in taxes? I mean, they would go Looney Tunes. Yet, as we know, as I show in the movie, people back in the 30s, 40s, 50s who were paying 70 to 90% in taxes were living quite the good life. There were a lot of rich people then, and boy, did they live like kings. But so I don't know. I don't think that can happen. I think that we've got to construct something new. Maybe what we've got to do is take the best parts of the old capitalism, the things that encouraged inventiveness, ideas, ingenuity, the individual forging ahead to make the next great thing, but combine that with the good things from socialism, the things that say we are our brother's keeper, that we have to have a safety net for people who fall between the cracks. Maybe there is some sort of combination of that we can invent our own new American system for the 21st century.
So if there are good parts of capitalism, then capitalism can't be wholly evil.
No, just as somebody's got to hoe the cotton field. That's not an evil unto itself, but if you're using slaves to do it, that's an evil. So there's nothing wrong with somebody opening a business and selling shoes. In fact, I need shoes, and I'm not going to make them or sell them. So I'm glad there's businesses that are doing these things. But there have to be rules, there have to be regulations, it has to be contained, and we have to make sure that there's a fair division of the wages and the money that are out there. The money cannot be all that 95% in the hands of 1%. It's got to be, there's a pie on the table. One guy can't come in and take 9 slices of the pie, and the other 9 people at the table only get 1 slice that they have to fight over. That's not democracy. That's not our Judeo-Christian ethic. That's not what Jesus would do, or Moses would do, or Muhammad, or pick any of the great religions. Buddha, Bill Maher,
Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton. None of them. I can't even imagine Paris Hilton doing that.
Well, Michael Moore, whether you agree or disagree with you, you always make it entertaining. It's Capitalism, a Love Story, and it's coming to a theater near you on October 2nd. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, David.
I'm David Blaustein, ABC News.